Have you ever looked around your house and thought, I need to get organized, but I sure don't want to spend a fortune doing it? Well, you're not alone. Long before fancy organizing bins and matching storage containers showed up at every department store charging $20 a pop, folks out in the country were already solving storage problems with whatever they had lying around the house, the barn, or the junk drawer. And you know what? Most of those solutions still work better than anything you'll find on the shelf at a big box store. Today we're exploring 30 brilliantly simple hillbilly household organization tricks that cost next to nothing and actually get the job done. Let's start with mason jars for pantry storage. If your grandma kept a row of ball jars lined up in her kitchen, she was ahead of the game by about 50 years. Mason jars aren't just for canning green beans and putting up peach preserves. They're one of the best pantry organizers money can buy, and most folks already have a cabinet full of them. Pour your flour, sugar, rice, dried beans, and pasta right into those jars, screw the lids on tight, and suddenly you can see everything you've got at a glance. The airtight seal keeps weevils and moisture out, which is something those flimsy paper bags from the grocery store never could do. Country folks have been doing this since the 1800s, when John Landis Mason patented the very first screw-top jar. Some people even nail the lids to the underside of a shelf and screw the jar up into the lid. That way the jars hang down and don't take up any counter space at all. That right there is hillbilly engineering at its finest. Coffee cans for workshop storage. Out in the garage or the barn, nothing beats an empty Folgers can for keeping your nuts, bolts, screws, and nails sorted, and easy to find. Those old metal coffee cans are sturdy, stackable, and the plastic lids snap right back on to keep everything contained. Folks have been lining shelves with them for decades. Some even drill holes through the back of the cans and mount them right to the pegboard on the wall. You can label them with a strip of masking tape and a marker, and suddenly your workshop looks like it belongs to a professional. Back in the day, nearly every grandpa in America had a row of Maxwell House and Folgers cans on a shelf above the workbench, each one filled with a different size of fastener. The best part is they're completely free, because you were going to throw them away anyhow. Some country folks even use them to store leftover paint, garden seeds, or fishing tackle. Muffin tins as junk drawer organizers. Everybody's got that one drawer in the kitchen that swallows everything from rubber bands to birthday candles to that key nobody remembers the purpose of. Instead of buying one of those overpriced drawer organizer trays from a home goods store, just slide a muffin tin in there. A standard 12-cup tin fits most kitchen drawers perfectly, and a mini muffin tin works even better for really small items. Each little cup becomes its own compartment for batteries, twist ties, thumbtacks, paper clips, coins, and all those other little odds and ends that always get jumbled together. Pull it out, find what you need, slide it back. Simple as pie. And if one of the cups gets grimy, you can pop the whole thing in the dishwasher, which is more than you can say for a plastic organizer tray. Bread ties to label your cords. If you've ever crawled behind your television set and found yourself staring at a tangled nest of identical black cords, this one's for you. Save those little plastic bread bag clips, the ones with the flat square and the slot in the middle. Write what each cord goes to on the flat part with a permanent marker, then clip it onto the cord. Now you'll know at a glance which one is the cable box, which one is the lamp, and which one is the router. It costs absolutely nothing, takes about 2 minutes, and saves you from accidentally unplugging the wrong thing. Old pillowcases as garment bags. Country folks never throw away a good pillowcase just because the set doesn't match anymore. Cut a small hole in the closed end, just big enough to slip a hanger hook through, and you've got yourself a dust cover for your Sunday clothes. Slide it right over that nice dress or sport coat, and it'll stay clean in the closet between wearings. It breathes better than plastic, it's washable, and it didn't cost you a single penny. Your grandmother probably did this, and she was right. Shower curtain rings on a closet rod. Hang a row of shower curtain rings along your closet rod, and suddenly you've got a place for every scarf, belt, and purse strap you own. Each ring holds one item. They slide back and forth, so you can flip through them like pages in a book, and a pack of rings costs about $1 at the dollar store. Some folks use them in the pantry too, hanging them from a tension rod and clipping chip bags shut with them. Versatile, cheap, and effective. That's the Hillbilly trifecta. Egg cartons for small item storage. Before you toss that empty egg carton in the trash, think about what else could fit in those 12 little cups. They're perfect for sorting earrings, buttons, sewing notions, beads, fishing lures, or tiny craft supplies. Foam cartons work best because they're soft and won't scratch anything. Close the lid and stack them in a drawer. Some folks label the outside and keep a whole collection of them in the craft room or sewing corner. Free, organized, and it keeps stuff out of the landfill a little bit longer. Tension rods under the kitchen sink. The cabinet under the kitchen sink is usually a disaster zone of cleaning bottles, sponges, and tangled plastic bags. Install a cheap tension rod across the inside of that cabinet, about halfway up, and now you can hang spray bottles from their triggers right on that rod. Suddenly the floor of the cabinet is clear. You can see everything at a glance, and nothing falls over when you reach for the dish soap. 2 tension rods give you even more space, and you can even drape a small towel or rag over one of them so it stays handy for spills. The whole setup costs maybe $3 and takes 30 seconds to install. No tools, no holes, no landlord complaints. This is the kind of trick that makes you wonder why every cabinet in the house doesn't have one. A pegboard on the wall. Out in farm country, pegboard has been a household hero for generations. Hang a sheet of it in the garage, the kitchen, the laundry room, or the craft room, and suddenly every tool, utensil, and supply has a visible home. Hooks and pegs are cheap. You can rearrange them whenever you want, and you'll never dig through a drawer looking for the scissors again. Some folks trace the outline of each tool with a marker so they know exactly where to put it back. And more importantly, they can tell at a glance if something is missing. A 4x8 sheet of pegboard runs about $15 at the hardware store and can organize an entire wall. Cut it into smaller sections, and you can do a whole room for the price of a fast food lunch. Farmers have had pegboard in their barns and shops since Masonite started selling it back in the 1950s, and there's a good reason it's never gone out of style. Old boots as doorstop umbrella holders. Got a pair of boots that finally wore through the sole? Don't throw them out just yet. Stand them upright by the front door and drop your umbrellas right down into them. The boots are heavy enough to stay put, tall enough to hold a full-length umbrella, and they add a little country charm to the entryway. Some folks fill them with sand or gravel for extra weight. It's the kind of thing that makes visitors smile and ask where you got the idea. Ice cube trays for tiny parts. An ice cube tray works just like the muffin tin trick, only smaller. They're perfect for the really tiny stuff like watch batteries, individual screws during a repair project, seed sorting for the garden, or organizing beads by color. Slide one into a desk drawer or a toolbox and everything stays separated. The old-fashioned hard plastic trays with the rigid walls work best, but even a flexible silicone one will do. Free from your own freezer or a quarter at a yard sale. Before we move on, I'd like to ask a small favor. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, a like and a subscribe truly helps us continue making these videos for you. We really appreciate it. Pants hangers for recipe books and magazines. Those clip-style pants hangers that everyone has a few of in the closet make excellent holders for cookbooks, magazines, and papers you want to keep visible. Clip one to the top of a recipe page and hang it from a cabinet knob while you're cooking, or run a row of nails along a wall and hang your favorite magazines from pants hangers like a little display. Keeps pages open, keeps your counter clean, and repurposes something you already own. A dish rack as a file and mail organizer. A simple kitchen dish drying rack The kind with upright slots for plates works beautifully as a desktop file organizer. Stand your folders, envelopes, notebooks, and mail upright in the slots. They stay visible, sorted, and easy to grab. Some folks keep one on the kitchen counter just for incoming mail and school papers. Others put one on a desk for office files. It usually works better than those flimsy wire file holders from the office supply store, and most people already have a spare one. Rain gutters as shelving. Leftover sections of vinyl rain gutter can be cut to length and mounted flat against a wall to create shallow shelves that are perfect for spice jars, small books, craft supplies, or seed packets. Screw them right into the studs with a couple of brackets, and the built-in lip on the front keeps everything from rolling off the edge. Some folks line their garage walls with gutter shelves for spray paint cans and small containers. Others use them in kids' rooms for lightweight picture books, standing the books up with the covers facing out so the little ones can pick their own bedtime story. A 10-foot section of vinyl gutter costs about $5 at the hardware store, and you can get 3 or 4 custom shelves out of a single piece. That's cheaper than any shelf you'll find at a furniture store, and it looks surprisingly good on the wall. PVC pipe sections for hair tool holders. Cut a piece of PVC pipe about 8 inches long, mount it to the inside of a bathroom cabinet door with a couple of pipe clamps, and you've got a holster for your curling iron or hair dryer. No more tangled cords in the drawer, no more hot tools sitting on the counter. Use a wider diameter pipe for the dryer and a narrower one for the curling iron. Total cost is maybe $2 if you buy the pipe new, and nothing at all if you've got scraps left over from a plumbing project. Magnetic strips for knife and tool storage. Screw a magnetic strip to the wall in the kitchen, and your knives stick right to it, blade up, easy to grab and easy to put back. You can see every knife you own at a glance without pulling open a drawer or fumbling through a block. The same trick works in the workshop for screwdrivers, pliers, wrenches, and drill bits. In the bathroom, a small magnetic strip inside the medicine cabinet holds tweezers, nail clippers, bobby pins, razor blades, and anything else made of metal that usually ends up rattling around in the bottom of a drawer. One strip costs a few dollars and frees up an entire drawer worth of space. Country folks have been sticking tools to magnets long before it showed up in fancy kitchen design magazines as some kind of modern innovation. An old wooden ladder as a blanket rack. Lean a weathered wooden ladder against the living room wall at an angle and drape your quilts, afghans, and throw blankets over the rungs. It looks rustic and charming, keeps blankets accessible and aired out, and gets them off the back of the couch where they always end up in a wrinkled heap. A worn-out ladder that's no longer safe to climb gets a brand new purpose, and you don't even have to do much to it. Sand it down a bit if it's splintery, or leave it rough for that authentic country look. This one has become so popular with the farmhouse decor crowd that home goods stores actually sell brand new ladders pre-distressed and weathered for $50 or more. Meanwhile, you can find the real thing for free at any barn sale. That's a pretty good sign your grandpa was onto something all along. Wire hangers bent into hooks. Straighten out a wire coat hanger, bend it into whatever hook shape you need, and hang it wherever something needs hanging. People have been using bent hangers to unclog drains, reach dropped items behind appliances, and fashion makeshift tool hooks for decades. In the closet, bend the end of a hanger into a loop and use it to hang multiple belts or ties from a single hook. It's not pretty, but it works, and that's the whole point. Pool noodles to keep boots upright. Cut a pool noodle in half and stuff each piece down into a tall boot. The foam holds the boot upright so it doesn't flop over and get creased. This keeps your closet looking neat and extends the life of the leather. After summer's over, those pool noodles usually end up in a pile in the garage anyway. Might as well put them to work the rest of the year. Which of these tricks have you tried so far? Let us know in the comments. Binder clips for cord management. Those black metal binder clips from the office supply drawer are secretly one of the best cord organizers ever invented. Clip them to the edge of your desk and run your phone charger, headphone cord, or laptop cable through the silver handles. The cord stays put, doesn't fall behind the desk, and you can grab it whenever you need it. Use bigger clips for thicker cords and smaller ones for earbuds. A box of them costs about $2 and solves a problem that fancy cord management systems charge $20 to fix. A hanging shoe organizer for cleaning supplies. Those clear plastic over-the-door shoe organizers aren't just for shoes, and country folks figured that out a long time ago. Hang one on the inside of a closet door or pantry door and fill the pockets with cleaning supplies, sponges, gloves, brushes, and spray bottles. Everything is visible through the clear plastic, everything has its own pocket, and the floor stays completely clear. Some folks use them in the bathroom for toiletries and medicine bottles, in the kids' room for small toys and art supplies, or in the garage for spray cans, rags, and tape rolls. One organizer that costs about $5 handles a dozen different storage problems in a dozen different rooms. Hang one on every door in the house, and you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. An old leather belt as a wall-mounted tool holder. Nail or screw an old belt to the garage wall or workshop wall with the buckle still attached, and you've got a flexible loop that holds screwdrivers, chisels, files, or any handled tool you slide behind it. Run the belt flat against the wall with a few screws spaced evenly apart. Leave a little slack between each screw point, and you've got a row of custom tool slots that grip each tool snugly. It looks good, holds tight, and uses something that was headed straight for the Goodwill donation bag or the trash can. Some folks do the same thing in the kitchen with wooden spoons, spatulas, and whisks, turning that old belt into a rustic utensil rack that would cost you $30 at a home decor boutique. Toilet paper tubes for cord storage. Every time you finish a roll of toilet paper, you're holding a perfectly good cord organizer. Coil up an extension cord, a phone charger, or a set of earbuds, and slide the coil right inside the tube. Label the outside with a marker. Stand them all upright in a shoebox or a drawer, and suddenly your cord collection goes from a tangled nightmare to a neat labeled library. You can also use paper towel tubes for longer cords. It's such a simple trick that it almost feels like cheating. A cookie sheet as a magnetic organizer. Take an old metal cookie sheet that's seen better days, hang it on the wall in the kitchen or the craft room, and stick magnets to anything you want to display or keep within reach. Magnetic spice jars, magnetic hooks for scissors, or just plain old refrigerator magnets holding up recipes, grocery lists, and coupons. Paint the surface with chalkboard paint, and now you've got a combination message board and magnetic organizer all in one. Write your weekly meal plan right on it, stick your favorite recipe cards to the side, and hang your kitchen timer from a magnetic hook. A beat-up cookie sheet from the thrift store costs about 50 cents and gives you a fully functional wall organizer that does the job of 3 different store-bought products. Soda can tabs to double your hanger space. Pop the tab off a soda can, hook it over the neck of one hanger, then hang a second hanger from the bottom hole of the tab. Now you've got 2 garments hanging in the space of one. Do this across your entire closet rod, and you can nearly double your hanging capacity without buying a single new organizer. This trick has been floating around country households for years, and it works just as well today as it ever did. Clothespins as chip clips and more. A wooden clothespin will clamp a bag of chips shut just as well as any fancy clip from the kitchen store, and it costs about 1 cent instead of $2. But that's only the beginning. Pin one to a shelf edge, and it holds a recipe card right at eye level. Clip one to a string of twine stretched across the wall, and you've got a charming photo display. Glue a magnet to the back and stick it to the fridge as a note holder or a coupon clip. Use a few to keep your garden gloves paired up on a hook. Clothespins cost pennies apiece. They last for years without breaking, and they do a dozen different jobs around the house without complaint. Your great-grandma used them on the clothesline every Monday morning, but they're just as useful indoors as they ever were outdoors. A paper towel holder for plastic bags. Mount a paper towel holder on the inside of a cabinet door. Stuff your plastic grocery bags around the dowel, and now they're contained, easy to grab, and not overflowing out of that bag full of bags under the sink. You can pull one out at a time, just like paper towels. It's a silly little trick, but it makes a real difference in keeping that cabinet tidy. Some folks use an empty tissue box instead, which works just as well. An old colander as a fruit holder. A well-worn kitchen colander with a few dents and scratches still makes a perfect countertop fruit bowl, and it actually works better than most store-bought options. The holes let air circulate all the way around your apples, bananas, oranges, and tomatoes, so they last longer, instead of sitting in their own moisture and going soft on the bottom. It's got that authentic farmhouse look that people pay good money for at home decor stores these days. Hang it from a hook over the counter for even more charm and to free up counter space. A colander from a yard sale or thrift store costs about $1.25, and honestly, it looks better than most of those decorative fruit bowls they sell for $20 at the home goods section. A rake head as a wall-mounted organizer. Take the head off an old broken garden rake, mount it to the wall with the tines pointing outward, and you've got a row of hooks for just about anything you can think of. In the kitchen, it holds wine glasses hung upside down from the stems between the tines. In the entryway, it holds keys, hats, scarves, and dog leashes. In the workshop, it holds wrenches, pliers, and hammers by their handles. Sand it down and give it a coat of paint if you want something polished, or leave it rusty and weathered for that authentic country feel that decorators charge a fortune to recreate. It's one of those repurposing tricks that looks completely intentional and surprisingly clever rather than makeshift. People will ask you where you got it, and you get to say it came out of the barn. 5-gallon buckets as storage bins. Out in the country, 5-gallon buckets are worth their weight in gold. Snap a Gamma seal lid on one, and it becomes a waterproof, rodent-proof, airtight storage container for pet food, birdseed, garden supplies, bulk rice, flour, or just about any dry goods you can think of. Stack them in the garage or the barn and label the lids with a marker. Cut a hole in the lid, and you've got a trash can. Bolt a few together side by side with a board on top, and you've made a bench with hidden storage underneath. Drill holes in the bottom, and you've got a planter. Restaurants, bakeries, and donut shops give these buckets away for free if you just walk in and ask nicely. Hardware stores sell the lids for about $2. You can honestly organize an entire shed, garage, or pantry with nothing but 5-gallon buckets and a permanent marker, and it won't cost you more than a few dollars total. Thanks for joining us on this trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and share it with a friend who could use a few of these tricks. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another one.